Hello to my cancers. All right, cancers, we're going to try to keep this short and sweet. All right, cancers, the moon is in Pisces, right? It's important to know these moon phases because as you all are moving through these phases and closing out cycles, even though these videos are timeless, you want to know kind of like what is in the feelings of the energies around you. You know what's in the feelings of the energies around you, right? So here are let me cleanse the energy. Let me cleanse the energy, and we're gonna just dive right in. All right. Prayed over your cards. Already cleansed the energy, cleansed the space. A lot of people are going to start getting nervous about what downloads you're getting, cancers, and a lot of karmics are going to start getting nervous about the downloads that you get. And so protect your water, protect your emotions, your mental health, protect all of that. They don't think you losing your mind. Journal, right? If you can't journal, talk to someone you feel like you can trust or you can bond with or whatever. But Source is definitely starting to kind of break some chains, really breaking some chains, right? A lot of things are being brought to light. A lot of things are being brought to light. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. So here's some questions around this moon, this waning crescent moon in Pisces. So what am I being called to release and surrender now? Right? What truth is trying to surface from my subconscious? Where do I need forgiveness or closure in my life? How can I best nurture my intuition and spiritual gifts at this time? And then what dreams or messages are coming through that need my attention, that need my attention, that need my attention, that need my attention. Let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's go. All right. Let's go. Stop dating people that represent your shadow self. You healed. And that includes even stop hanging out with people that represent your shadow self. You may think that they are like, this is where your emotional intelligence kicks in for real. Like, if you know that these are people that, could loop you into their karma emotionally because they're still into some stuff that you used to be, I don't care how long ago you were connected to them, they still into some stuff, and you know it. One thing when you don't know it, but it's something when you do. So it's like, okay, you know they're into some stuff. You got some downloads and some clarity, and you ask them out of your mouth, are you still into X, Y, and Z? This is where the questions comes in. This is where these questions comes in. This is where these questions come in. What am I being called to release and surrender now, right? What truth is trying to surface from my subconscious? Where do I need forgiveness or closure in my life? This is including family members, friends. They sitting around talking about somebody. They talking about, but you don't understand. They did such and such, and you weren't there, and I heard, and I talked to all of these people, and all these people said such and such about so and so, and you sitting there listening to all of this mess. And you don't know, but all you going on is what you heard somebody else say, and you not the voice of reason. Guess what? Sources saying the same thing, representing your shadow self. Remember, cardinal signs are the initiators. So you need to be initiating, taking some kind of action. The moon is in Pisces, and so instead of somebody being overwhelmed, this is, remember, the moon. The reason why I talk about moon phases, and I'm scaling back on readings just so we're crystal clear. I have another assignment that I'm moving on to, but scaling back on readings, announcements, letting you know, has already started another assignment. So we're going back to original 3 days instead of 4. So I'm excited, yay! So it's already started happening. So just so you know, somebody need to unravel themselves from some chains. Somebody need to stop being so overwhelmed and confused. And you sitting around talking to people. So you better unravel yourself. Put yourself in your hermit. Something. Better get somewhere. Let's do it. The Star card. Renewal, hope, inner. You shine bright in dark spaces, right? So Source is saying, you are a star in your own right. This speaks to 11th house. 11th house is all about friendships, community, goals, hopes, your future. Think about your future. Think about your future and who you're aligning yourself with. You've already healed some stuff within yourself, right? Source is saying, bare minimum, somebody needs to be initiating some conversation. Like Source is saying, you are a leader both in your personal and your professional life. Somebody need to be banging a gavel. Speaking of, we had a full moon in the Justice card. Somebody need to be acting like they sitting, in a court somewhere, be banging a gavel and saying, okay, we need to come to order here. Like bringing some structure to something in your life, in your group, in your community, wherever you are, and saying, hey, listen, this is year 9. Something needs to end, right? So if you're part of a group of people that's just like still in a karmic cycle, that has just been a loop of chaos and confusion, that they tied to some kind of chain or loop about something that they have not been able to let go of, pray about, let Source handle something or whatever. Source is saying they looping you into some stuff. You need to be the person to break the chain. That's what Source is trying to tell you. Somebody caught up in some mess. Here's a 10 of Swords. Complete and painful ending, rock bottom, failure, collapse, defeat. You're part of something that somebody wants to see that happen to somebody. You're part of something that somebody wants to see that happen to somebody. I don't know who this is, but somebody wants to see that happen to somebody. 5 of Pentacles. Somebody wants to see somebody in poverty, ill, health, worry, isolation, financial loss, need, insecurity. And it's a reflection on you. It's a reflection on you. Wow. All right, Cancer. I don't know who y'all aligning yourselves with, but maybe y'all don't know. Maybe it's time to pray about it. Like, Source, to expose the hearts of people around me. I need to see it. I need to see it. Wow. Here's the Empress card. And somebody is actually a really good parent. So this is where the connection is. This is where you're making the connection. See, when we talk about sword energy, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, right? You don't have to be a biological parent. I always say you all are a sweetheart sign, but it's 2 sides of the sword. That's why Source is saying as a cardinal sign, I would say this to you, Libras, Aries, or Capricorns. Y'all are cardinal signs. Cardinal signs is like you all are like the change of seasons. Like you all initiate the change of a season. So it's like it's time to close out a season. Somebody has had a season where they were, they did not know when to close out a season. So it's just they stuck in some kind of a loop, right? So yeah, they stuck in some kind of a loop. They didn't know when to close out a season. And Source is using you to close out a season. Source is using you to close out a season. So when Source says stop dating people that represent your shadow self, you've healed from something. Source is saying there's 2 sides of a sword. So if Source knows that you're a sweetheart and that you're a good person and you're connected to an energy who is caught in some kind of a loop, and all you hear from them is like they just want to see somebody meet this unfortunate end, and they sitting there like, what's the name of the movie? Lynn Whitfield was in the movies. Y'all, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Y'all remember she had that movie where she had the big knife in the cake. She was sitting there like, if y'all got some friends like that, their friendship need to end immediately, for real. That's where somebody need to be like, okay, we walking into a hospital today, and if you refuse to go to a hospital, I'm dialing 911 because there's something else going on. Oh, you not my friend. I can't believe you won't be there for me. No, because I'm not participating in no craziness. I'm not participating in craziness. Something has gone way too far. Here we have 9 of Wands. Resilience, keeping and maintaining boundaries. That's right. Last stand. So yeah, 9 of Wands. Somebody need to make a statement and say, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to this. I'm not coming back to something. So that's where you are. You found your North Node, but something is very, very clear at this point that something has spun way out of control. Something has spun. That's what I'm looking at here. Something has spun out of control to a point of obsession. Yeah. So, Seven of Cups. Yeah. And so the devil is in the details. The scales have been removed from your eyes. And a lot of times people just stay silent until something horrible has happened, and everybody would just sit there like, well, okay, I guess I don't have to say nothing because maybe, maybe it was something I wasn't as sure of. That's what this is right here, Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords. Yeah, so Source is like you're shining. You shine bright, just like a star. Everybody has their own, like a star, meaning that everybody has their north node, right? And so here we have the Seven of Wands. So I'm seeing, self-defense. I see you being able to defend your decision to move on from something without coming across as defensive is what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Nine of Wands. Yeah. Nine of Wands. Yeah. A lot of people are closing out cycles. They're excited about moving into a new phase. It looks like you have found your star. This is what you can relate to, Cancer. It looks like you have found your star. It looks like, there's been a lot of growth and abundance as far as you're concerned. And you're no longer dating or courting people that represent your shadow self. In other words, people who keep you in the dark about things, right? And we're not talking about negative mess. We're talking about positivity, keeping you on the light side of things, not a bunch of gossip. What people doing behind closed doors, and they so depressed. We got to keep people watching them just in case, we get that phone call. We waiting on that phone call. Like, why would somebody be... They away from their family, they moving every time you turn around, they in poor health, and I mean just negative, just negative, not helping anything. So, and then here we have 9. So somebody's not going back to that because it doesn't produce any results. It's just secretive. It's sneaky. It's just that doesn't produce any results. So this right here, when we talk about like the Five of Pentacles, it's usually a person that's like outside of something, like a person who may be like out in the cold. Some people actually looking at the cards here. If y'all read some of the comments under not just my videos but some of the other videos, some people actually get a kick out of. They got their cameras pointed right at people's houses when people are moving, and you just hear some people like, yeah, we never knew what was going on behind closed doors. We knew they couldn't keep up so and so. We saw them driving such a kind of car and this kind of such and such. We knew they couldn't keep that up. Like they've literally got joy out of seeing when a person literally could be moving on to better. Just negative. Like people just rent space in people's heads. Literally. So Source is saying to you, you have been the star in some people's eyes. Like you have been the story. You have rented space in some people's head. This is what a lot of people can relate to. So Source is saying if you're on the receiving end of hearing that, this is the time. This is number 10. Number 10 means this is the end of it. This is the end of it. Stop being around people that represent your shadow self. That's not who you are anymore. Time to make a change. Time to make a change. Page of Cups. So you got some good news coming across your path. The devil is in the details. This is the Seven of Cups here. This is where you keep your vibrations high because money and love is coming across somebody's path here, and that's the good news. And love could just be like, when I say good news, it could be a young person coming across your path, someone that you're working with that's helping you to create something new. But you're not going to know that because, again, unless somebody ends this, because there's been a lot of people who misunderstand, because it's two sides of the sword. It's a lot of people who have misunderstood what goes on behind your closed doors because people have told all kinds. Well, I'm just going to say it. You've just been set up. It's no other way. For real. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to say. Okay, so I had to add some more time to this Cancer. But yeah, like I said, the Ten of Swords coming out first is weird because it looks like you all are thriving. I mean, from where I'm in reading your cards, Ten of Swords traditionally is simply a complete and painful ending. Just because people want that for you, obviously, I don't feel like that's what it is. I feel like, because it obviously your major arcana, and your major arcana is like just uncovering major secrets here. There's growth and abundance. It's growth and abundance. It looks like you found your star, found your future, right? It looks like you are your friendship, your community, like you found what you were in search of, right? So just because people want that for you, and people, because it's 10 sword. Before you get to 10 swords, it's 9, 7, 6. Well, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So that first sword, is that motive. Like, why? Why would people want you to be? Why would love hurt? Sword is air, right? Why would people talk about you behind your back? I mean, you all are sweetheart signs. Like, why would people talk about you behind your back when you're in hermit mode? Like, why would people do that, right? And you coming out still a sweetheart, pouring into people, being very creative, coming out with ideas and stuff like that. Why, right? A lot of different reasons why. But so it's saying, like, start hanging around people in general who represent your shadow self. Like, stop being oblivious to these energies who talk and they're telling you like how they talk about other people. Take what resonates with you. Only what resonates with you. Just take only what resonates with you. It's time to close out some cycles, for real. It's time to just start closing out some cycles. Trying to break some chains. But this is what this is. Somebody's hanging around with a group of energies who talk about people, what they do behind closed doors. And as soon as they move from place to place to place, they go collect court records. Oh, see, they can't keep a place. They getting repoed. Their house is foreclosed on. They can't keep a job. They just but they are responsible. They play a role in doing all of this mess. Inserting themselves in mortgage companies. I mean, just doing the works. The absolute works. And stopping people from finding their north node. So it's like you can keep aligning yourself with energies like that, or you can wake up, or you can just wake up yourself. So here we have the world. Something has been fulfilled. Something has been fulfilled. Something has been fulfilled. Yeah. Something has been fulfilled. Right? Here we have the King of Swords. King of Swords, right? So, you're talking about something that's being very clear-headed, just like, being intelligent enough to just being like, thinking, like, you know who, just knowing who is, who represents something from somebody's past, like represent knowing who's doing what. Right, so looking at your cards here, it's time to, like I said, his teamwork, travel, commerce, rapid growth, expansion. Here's a 3 of Wands here, and you know who is responsible for just who is just a responsible energy, like, and just because I feel like you're moving. I feel like you, Cancer, you may be moving jobs or something. You're moving because you're just a very responsible person. I feel like somebody is I feel like when somebody is in spaces, looking at the cards here, when you're in spaces where you feel like you maybe outgrown an environment, like it goes back to what I'm saying, like cardinal signs. Cardinal signs should know when it's time to. It should not be at some point. It should be a struggle to move through seasons of your life. When it's time to close out a cycle and move on in your relationships. Right, you should know when it's time to close out a job, like people, places, or things. Okay, it's time to close out. Time to have a conversation. Time to go to the next level. Even if you remain, because you're a leader, zodiac sign. Even if you remain friends with people, and you got to have that difficult conversation with a friend or family member. Okay, I think it's time we need to talk. We have different views on things, and it's time. We need to have that conversation. We need to have that conversation. You could be a part of a group of some energies who love to see people impoverished, tossed out on the front lawn of something. to call people snakes. This is the year of the rebirth, right? So love to clap and cheer. Y'all have seen, that kind of stuff. There's a there's a woman on Instagram. Well, actually, it's two people on Instagram. It's a man and a woman. It's they comedic skits. They pose as the homeowners association people. They like basically finding their neighbors everywhere they go. You get a fine. You get a fine. You get a fine. Every little thing that people do. But some people some people really do get a joy out of being a menace in people's lives. They don't know what people are going through. So that's what I'm saying here in your card. It's all fun and games until somebody get a phone call, a horrible phone call. So to say, if you're part of that kind of stuff and you dark magician energy, like to keep people in a state of confusion, and you sitting there, you can see it. This is where you initiate the conversation. That's where you initiate the conversation. 8 of Pentacles, mastering something. Mastering, helping people to master something. Somehow, some way, I'm telling you, Cancer, Source is going to use you all to teach people something. Source is going to use you all to teach something, because if you all don't accept the challenge, Source is going to use somebody else to do it. So it's going to use somebody else to do it. And they're going to make a lot of money. Trust and believe they're going to make a lot of money doing it. They may receive a lot of hate, but it's a lot of people out here that's not afraid. They're going to receive a lot. I'm telling y'all right now, they're going to make a lot of money. What I say, Ace of Pentacles, y'all see me shuffling these cards, they're going to make a lot of money. There's too many people getting over on people out here. They're about to be financially independent. Take that however y'all want to take it, but I'm telling you, it's too many people out here, and it's too much craziness going on out here. Too much craziness going on. So stop dating people that represent your shadow self. You've already gone through too many dark nights of the souls not to educate people as to what's going on out here. Not to go into partnerships. This is the Ten of Swords right here. Partnerships, like where people are being taught, people are learning. So true offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. That's true love. We're seeing it on social media. People keep trying to enlighten people about stuff, and they bold about it, enlightening people. People sitting back like, oh, they shouldn't have said, they should have told them that, they should have told them that. We're gonna see how this plays out, and then bam, something happens, and all of a sudden everybody should have. Oh, I should have. I should have said something. Okay. So, yeah, somebody should have said something. Everybody knows something, and so somebody else pops a lid off of something, then everybody's sitting around like, oh, now everybody. You know what this reminds me of? And I did this in Taurus reading one time, since this is Taurus birthday season, about how people do this in the workplace. This is so common in the workplace. This is a complete setup for failure in the workplace. You will have everybody in your job know the answer to something, but will sit around and not tell you until you file a complaint. Then everybody, and I'm talking about like you file a complaint and you have a legit complaint that you can sue somebody for real, and all of a sudden people's wallets about to be affected, then everybody got the answer. Oh, well, I wish they had come to me, because they got all these rules and regulations, procedures. Everybody knew this, everybody knew that, right? All of this. Nobody pulling people to the side quietly off the record. Let me help you with this and help you with that. Everybody know everything until money is coming into play. I'm telling y'all, somebody has already started something that's about to be financially independent, because people sitting around won't say nothing. Yeah. Too busy talking about joining in the reindeer games of, assassinating people's character behind their back. And the person that they assassinating behind their back already started it. So, looking for people to collaborate with. Somebody better get rid of these dark birds. And I'm not talking about skin color, so we're crystal clear. I'm talking about dark spirits. People who like to keep people in the dark. That's what I'm saying. Spirits that like to keep people in the dark about things. That's your shadow self. Your shadow self. Enlighten people. Come out of there who won't judge you. I'm embarrassed. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. Nobody knew everything. Nobody knows everything. That's where compassion comes in. I'm going to tell y'all, listen, Pluto will be in Aquarius for the next until March 8, 2043. Listen. Meek does not mean weak. Somebody is in a karmic cycle with two energies right now. Somebody's in a karmic cycle with two energies right now. This is a strength card. So some news and some messages coming across your path about, you know, two energies that gave somebody some alcohol. That's what this is. They got somebody drunk. Some messages coming through. They got somebody inebriated. Somebody who was looking for a job, looking for some work. Somebody who was very studious, someone who loved their dreamer. They are very creative. They looking for some help. Looking for some help, just trying to grow. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody is about to make a whole lot of legitimate money. Legitimate money. It's already out there. It's already been written. It's already out there, ready to go. It's because people wouldn't speak up. So, oh, I gotta tell y'all something that happened to me this weekend. But never mind. I already put it on another channel. I already put it on another video, so I won't bore y'all with that. Won't bore y'all with that. So anyway, somebody has a new and exuberant love coming across their path, though. Somebody has a new and exuberant love coming across their path. Yeah, so two things are closing out. Two things are closing out here. Somebody is going home. Here we have, when the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroad in your own evolution. So, yeah, somebody's about to make a whole lot of money because they're starting to think partnerships, not partnerships with these low vibrating energies who cannot break these karmic cycles within themselves. They can't, it's like they can't stop themselves breaking these karmic cycles within themselves. I don't know who I'm talking to here. If you still got people that you've been knowing for a long time and they just wishing that somebody would meet some unfortunate end behind closed doors, get to a higher frequency. You know who they are. You know who they are right now. Rose-colored glasses are off. You got downloads. You had dreams. Matter of fact, let's bring it on home clearly. Okay, some kind of legal dealing with them. The 7th house. We had a full moon in Libra. Libra rules 7th house. It's about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, enemies, right? You've had some kind of legal dealings with them. You've had some kind of legal dealings with them. You may have been some kind of a sweetheart where you let them get away with something. Something could have been a slam dunk win, but you let them get away with something, and they are coming back vengeful, okay? So sources saying to you, whether it was spiritual court or actually 3D court, you may have let them get off a little soft, and they coming back, they came back with a vengeance. So put an end to something. Put an end to something. It's the same type of a spirit that telling you that they come back with a vengeance for somebody else, and you're sitting there listening to it. So there you go. because people are waiting on some results for something. They sitting around waiting on some results that they gonna see that somebody gonna meet some kind of unfortunate end behind closed doors, because they feel like some people are moving. Okay, so if they feel like people are moving, and they're gonna meet these two people are gonna meet some unfortunate results behind closed. Unfortunate whatever behind closed. You know what? I'm gonna leave this reading right here. I'm gonna leave it right here. Somebody's about to make a whole lot of money. Somebody, because it's something that's already out there. Something that's already out there. That's what I have for you, Cancers. Hopefully this reading wasn't confusing for you, but you don't even need to exhaust yourself with this. Source already gave you everything that you need. Total, full transparency and clarity in this cycle that we're in right now. There should be no confusion. None. I'm serious. I can't say it no clearer than that in this reading. There should be no confusion. None. You've had enough legal dealings with people to know exactly who the energies are. It's no ifs or buts. We had a full moon in Libra. Libra is the justice card. You already know who, when people are apart from people, what kind of injustices people do. That's what you have in common. You already know. So, yeah, the energy is gaining momentum. You already know. There you go. That's what I have for you. See you in the next video. Bye.